4, Kentucky men's basketball lost to unranked Michigan State. But gotta keep in mind, Michigan State only lost by a point to then number 2 Gonzaga, 64-63. So what exactly happened in the game here? Obviously, it went to over 2 overtimes, and we know obviously Michigan State scored 9 more points in overtime. And those, combined in both overtimes to win the game. But the first half, Michigan State owned 36-34. Second half, 28-26 in favor of Kentucky. Of course, we know what happened in overtime. 24-15 in favor of Michigan State. But in terms of what the teams did overall, and this was the first game back for Oscar Tshiebwe for Kentucky, because he had an injury, remember. First of all, Kentucky had 27 made field goals out of 70, 38.6%, 7 for 25 on three-pointers though, 16 for 24 on free throws. They had 38 rebounds, 17 assists, 12 steals, 8 blocks, which 4 of those came by Oscar Tshiebwe, 15 turnovers, but a third of those came from Oscar Tshiebwe, and 25 fouls in the game. And Oscar Tshiebwe fouled out. Michigan State had 28 field goals made out of 69, which is 40.6%. 7 for 19 on 3, so they had a higher percentage in shooting the 3. 23 for 27 on free throws. Yeah, that's probably one of the biggest differences. 45 rebounds in the game. Yeah, that makes sense. 19 assists. 6 steals, which advantaged Kentucky in that area. 3 blocks advantaged Kentucky in that area. But 18 turnovers advantaged Kentucky in that area. And 19 fouls, which is advantage Michigan State in that area. So as you can tell by the numbers, it does make sense why Michigan State won the game. Michigan State only had 9 points off the bench. So while Kentucky had 24 and 29, that's 45 points. Yeah, that's a big difference in bench points. But granted, you would say Oscar Tshiebwe played the amount of minutes of a starter, which is the truth because he played 34 minutes in the game. So what do both these teams have coming forward for them after this last game? Well, Kentucky should be able to bounce back against South Carolina State. They're 0-3. They should bounce back. That's on the 17th. They don't have anything over Thanksgiving week at all. In terms of like a tournament or anything. But they have to play number 2 Gonzaga on Sunday. Ooh. Yeah. That ain't good. Gonzaga at that. Ooh. But in terms like the only game on the following week after Sunday is that 23rd, a week from now, against North Florida, who's winless currently. So I have to say I don't think that Kentucky should win the next 2 out of 3 games. I'm only going to go out that far amount of games because it's not worth going the rest of the year. I'm just going to focus on the here and now. Not just the here and now, but the following 3 games are more important. Now for Michigan State, they are 2-1, like I said, but the only loss was by a point to the top number 2 team in the land, and they could have easily won that game. So don't let that 2-1 record fool you. They have an unranked Villanova at home for the Gavitt tip-off. That just lost to Temple, last week. So, yeah, they also have the Phil Knight Invitational, which is going to start on Thanksgiving Day, actually. But they have 2 other games, though. got to keep that in mind. They're going to play the winner or loser of the Oregon UConn game. UConn's ranked, Oregon isn't right now. Still, they're just depending on results. Granted. And other teams on the other side of the bracket are Villanova. So they could play them again in either the championship game or the fifth place game. Potentially Iowa State, who we know is not ranked. Portland, that's the only, and North Carolina, that's currently number 1. Yes, they're 3-0, but they're not playing that great, despite a 3-0 start. So that's just like 4 games in advance. I know I'm going down that far. It's only because it's a tournament coming up for Michigan State men's basketball over Thanksgiving week, so I might as well include that. So that's 3 games in 3 days. I mean, sure, they actually have like Thursday then Friday, but then they have a game on Sunday. So it's not like they played 3 games in 3 days or anything. It's different. It's 3 games in 4 days. So I just want to break that down. So like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get into 400 subscribers and more by the end of this year or sometime in the future.